BYD has gone from a name most Western drivers had never heard of 5 years ago to the single largest seller of electric vehicles on the planet today, outshipping even Tesla on a global basis. Because of that explosive growth, the used BYD market is now flooding dealerships, private listings, and online auctions across Australia, the UK, Europe, Southeast Asia, Latin America, and, increasingly, North America. On paper, buying a used BYD looks like one of the smartest electric vehicle purchases you can make in 2026. Proven Blade Battery technology, competitive range figures, modern cabin tech, and a sticker price that often lands 30 to 50% below a comparable Tesla or Hyundai on the same forecourt. But here's the part most first-time EV buyers are not being warned about. Not every used BYD is the bargain it appears to be. Specific model years and specific components inside these cars carry documented defects, open recalls, software quirks, and warranty traps that can turn a cheap purchase into a four-figure headache inside 12 months. Over the past 3 years alone, BYD has issued recalls affecting well over 170,000 vehicles globally. If you are about to hand over money for a used BYD, there are 7 specific things you absolutely must check before signing the paperwork. Ignoring any one of them can cost you the entire value of the car. Before we begin, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Now, let us get into it. Reason number 7, the battery warranty transfer status. The single most valuable component in any BYD is the Blade Battery. And the single most valuable piece of paperwork attached to it is the battery warranty. BYD offers one of the strongest battery warranties in the industry, typically 8 years or 160,000 kilometers on the high voltage pack, with some markets offering extended cover to 10 years. On a brand new car, that sounds bulletproof. On a used car, it is far more complicated than most buyers realize. In several regions, including parts of Europe and Southeast Asia, the BYD battery warranty is non-transferable to the second owner by default, or transfers only on the condition that the vehicle has been serviced exclusively at an authorized BYD dealership for the entire ownership history. A single service record at an independent garage, a missed annual inspection, or an aftermarket modification to the high-voltage system can void the remaining cover entirely. Replacement cost of a Blade battery pack in a Dolphin or Atto 3 currently sits between $8,000 and $14,000 depending on market and pack capacity, frequently more than the used car itself is worth. Before you buy, request the full service history in writing. Confirm with your local BYD importer whether the remaining warranty transfers to you, and obtain written confirmation of the warranty expiry date. If the seller cannot produce this, treat the battery as uninsured and price the car accordingly. A used BYD without a transferable battery warranty is not the same car as one with it, and the price should reflect that difference. Reason number 6, charging standard and regional compatibility. BYD sells essentially the same vehicle under different specifications in different markets, and one of the most important differences sits in the charging port. In Europe, Australia, and the UK, most BYD models use the combined charging system, known as CCS2. In China, the domestic market uses GBT. In North America, the newer shipments are moving toward NACS. And in several gray import markets, especially in parts of Southeast Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, you will find BYDs that were originally built for China sitting on used forecourts with the wrong plug entirely. This matters enormously, because a BYD with a GB-T port cannot plug into a European CCS2 fast charger without a costly and often unreliable adapter, and the vast majority of public charging networks in export markets simply will not accept the Chinese domestic standard. Buyers in the Middle East and South America have documented cases of picking up a cheap gray import Atto 3 or Han only to discover they cannot fast charge it anywhere locally without a third-party adapter that voids the warranty the moment it is used. Before you buy, physically inspect the charging port on the vehicle. Compare it to the public charging standard that dominates your country. If the BYD in front of you was originally registered or imported from China, assume the worst and verify the port type against the current network. A car you cannot fast charge at a public station is effectively restricted to your home wall box forever. For most buyers who plan to take the occasional longer trip, that is a deal breaker that should have been caught before the money changed hands. Before we move on to the next reason, if you are finding this video useful so far, it would mean a lot if you could hit the like button. It genuinely helps YouTube push this to more used EV buyers who need to hear this before they sign anything. Reason number 5. The DiLink infotainment software version. The DiLink infotainment system is the brain of every modern BYD, and between 2021 and 2024, it has been the single most complained about component across owner forums in the UK, Australia, Germany, and Brazil. Early DiLink builds on the 2022 to 2023. Atto 3 and the 2023 Dolphin were documented going completely unresponsive mid-drive, restarting on their own without warning, and in some cases blanking out the central touchscreen entirely. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity on these early builds was described by owners as unpredictable at best and broken at worst, with wireless connections dropping repeatedly across a single commute. BYD has since issued multiple over-the-air and dealer-installed software updates, and on updated units, the problems are largely resolved. The issue for used buyers is that there is no consistent way to tell from the outside whether the car in front of you has received the latest firmware. Many early cars were privately imported or sold on, and service histories are often incomplete. Before you buy, ask the seller to power the car up, open the DiLink settings menu, and show you the currently installed software version. Cross-reference that number with the latest version listed on BYD's official support portal for your region. Then run CarPlay or Android Auto on a test drive long enough to expose a disconnect. If the car is on an old version and no one can confirm when it will be updated, you are inheriting every software quirk the original owner has been living with. Reason number 4. The 12-volt auxiliary battery health. This is the reason almost nobody in the used BYD conversation talks about, and it is the one that has stranded more owners than any other single fault. Every BYD, just like every modern electric vehicle, carries a small 12-volt auxiliary battery in addition to the main high-voltage Blade Battery. That small battery is responsible for powering the car's computers, unlocking the doors, waking up the main drive system, and running basic electronics when the car is parked. If it dies, the car will not even let you inside, regardless of how much charge is left in the main pack. On the 2022 to 2023, Atto 3 in particular, the 12-volt auxiliary has been documented draining completely within 18 to 24 months of ownership, dramatically shorter than comparable electric vehicles where a 12-volt typically lasts 4 to 6 years. One Atto 3 owner posted on an EV forum, "I had my brand new Atto 3 back to the dealer twice in 3 weeks for the same dead 12-volt. They kept blaming software. It felt like the car just forgot how to stay alive overnight." Before you buy, ask for a diagnostic printout showing the current voltage and state of health of the 12-volt battery. If the reading is under 12.4 volts at rest, or if the car has been sitting on the lot for more than a few weeks, budget immediately for a replacement. It is a cheap fix at around $150 to $250 but left alone, it will leave you stranded. Reason number 3. Outstanding recall completion status. Between 2023 and 2025, BYD issued a series of recalls that affected a significant portion of the export fleet. The two most important for used buyers to know about are the September 2024 recall of roughly 97,000 Dolphin and Yuan Plus vehicles for a steering control unit defect that regulators confirmed posed fire risks, and the October 2025 recall of 71,248 Yuan Pro units produced between February 2021 and August 2022 for defective battery sealing, gaskets that allowed water ingress into the high-voltage pack. These are not cosmetic recalls. A steering control unit that can ignite under load is a safety of life issue. A battery sealing defect that allows water into a high-voltage pack can convert a working electric vehicle into a total write-off inside a single heavy rainstorm. And here is the problem for used buyers. Not every affected car has actually received the remediation. Some units were sold privately before the owner responded to the recall notice. Some were exported to secondary markets, where the recall process was never formally administered. Before you buy any BYD made between 2021 and 2023, run the vehicle identification number through BYD's official recall lookup portal for your region. Demand to see the recall completion certificate from the authorized dealership. If the seller cannot produce one, do not buy that car until the work has been completed and documented in writing. A BYD with an open recall is a legal, financial, and safety liability that no discount justifies. Reason number 2. The Blade Battery State of Health Report. The Blade Battery is the heart of every BYD, and, when properly cared for, it is one of the most durable lithium iron phosphate packs in the world. BYD's own testing has documented the chemistry handling over 5,000 full charge and discharge cycles, translating to a theoretical service life of well over 1 million kilometers. That is the headline number that sells the cars new, and it is largely accurate, but it is a statistical average across a well-treated fleet. Individual used BYDs can have wildly different real-world battery health depending on how the original owner charged and stored them. State of health, abbreviated as SOH, is the single most important metric on any used electric vehicle. A healthy used BYD under 3 years old and well-treated should read between 94 and 99% SOH. A poorly treated example, frequently fast-charged in hot climates and stored at 100%, can read as low as 82 to 85% at the same mileage, effectively meaning the car has lost 15% of its range permanently. Before you buy, demand a current SOH readout either through BYD's dealer diagnostic system or a compatible OBD2 connected EV diagnostic app. Do not accept a verbal assurance. Do not accept a printout older than 30 days. If the SOH reads below 90% on a car less than 5 years old, walk away or negotiate the price down by the equivalent lost range. The battery is the car. Reason number 1, the steering control unit recall remediation. And at number 1, we have the single most critical check on this entire list, because it is the only one that carries a direct and documented fire risk. In September 2024, BYD formally recalled close to 97,000 Dolphin and Yuan Plus electric vehicles produced in 2023 after regulators in multiple markets confirmed a defect in the steering control unit that could cause it to overheat, short internally, and in worst-case scenarios, ignite while the vehicle was in operation. The steering control unit translates driver input into actual movement of the front wheels. A failure in that unit while driving is a loss of control event before it becomes a fire. The recall remediation involved a full replacement of the defective unit at an authorized BYD dealership, typically taking 2 to 4 hours. On a properly remediated car, the replacement unit carries no known fire risk. On an unremediated car, the risk remains live for as long as the original unit is installed, regardless of mileage, climate, or owner behavior. This is why I have placed it at number 1. Every other check on this list costs you money if you skip it. This one can cost you the car and, in a worst case, the driveway. Before you buy any 2023 BYD Dolphin or Yuan Plus, demand written proof of the steering control unit, recall remediation, date of service, dealership, and replacement part number. No proof, no purchase. As BYD continues to expand its global reach and the used market swells with more examples every month, the risk profile for second-hand buyers is also quietly rising. The Blade Battery technology remains genuinely class-leading. The cars themselves are generally well-built, and the value proposition against Tesla and Hyundai is as strong as ever. But a used BYD is only a good deal when it has been correctly vetted before purchase. Warranty transfer, charging port compatibility, infotainment firmware, 12-volt battery health, recall completion, battery state of health, and the specific steering control unit remediation on 2023 Dolphin and Yuan Plus models. These are the 7 checks that separate a smart used purchase from an expensive mistake. Take this list to the dealership with you. Demand documentation on all 7 and walk away from anything the seller cannot back up in writing. Hope you like this video. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for more informative electric vehicle content. Thank you for watching.